It is a mystery many people want to solve, the search for Bigfoot.
Last month, two men from Portland lost their lives while searching for Sasquatch in eastern Skamania County. Their bodies were found in a heavily wooded area of the Gifford Pinchot National Forest. Joining us to continue the conversation is Tanner Hoskins, the co-founder of PNW Bigfoot Search. Tanner, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course. So let's first talk about the search. We know two people lost their lives looking for Bigfoot recently. Why do you think they set off to that particular area to search for Sasquatch? And in your opinion, what made that journey so dangerous?
Well, the Skamania County area of Washington State is probably one of the most hotspot locations in the entire United States. It's actually one of the only counties where it's a felony to shoot a Bigfoot, despite them not possibly existing. That forest in particular is extremely easy to become turned around in. It's almost eerily easy. And once you're off trail and out of view of landmarks, it becomes even more treacherous. And if you mix in like the snow that's currently falling in the area and the frigid conditions and not being prepared to be in the wilderness overnight, it's a recipe for disaster.
And your team does expeditions, but they're closed to the public. Why do you not allow the public to sign up for these expeditions? And is it safe for people to go out and partake in their own search for Sasquatch?
So for us, our expeditions are closed to the public for our team's personal safety. We don't know the individuals that might be wanting to come out with us and partake in a wilderness experience. We also don't know how strangers are going to react in a crisis situation. Say one of our team members breaks a leg and needs to be pulled out of the environment. We're a group of guys that have each other's backs and will leave no one behind. Unfortunately, with strangers, we can't vet them well enough to trust them to come out with us and do the same. It is safe for people to go out as long as they are prepared. And what I mean that is, there's no way to be over prepared when you enter the wilderness, whether you're on a day trip, a vehicle exploration trip, or a multi-night trip. You need to plan for the worst case scenario. And unfortunately, it sounded like these two individuals that lost their lives weren't ready to stay overnight or be in those kind of conditions for too long.
Yeah, being over-prepared sounds like it's important. So if someone does decide to go on their own search, what do they need to know? Any safety tips? What does being over-prepared really look like?
So for us, we recommend bringing daily medications, at least 72 hours worth of daily medication. Anything that you need for allergies that you might run into, like Benadryl or EpiPens. Always carry extra food and water. We carry meals ready to eat, or MREs. You just add hot water to them, shake them up, and you can eat. A life straw, some kind of water filtration system. Physical maps, compass. We carry, like I use OnX. It's an offline map system that you can also track where you are. We use Garmin GPS devices with pre-planned pinpoints. Fire starter, flint and steel, dryer lint, whatever you need to start a fire easily. I personally mix bacon grease with dryer lint and it starts a fire like that. Mylar blankets, those little tinfoil shiny blankets, they don't take up a lot of space, but they will keep you very warm despite whatever frigid elements you're in. And then a first aid kit, like take tourniquets with you, blood clotting cotton, bandages, splints if you can carry it, signaling mirrors and whistles, flashlights in case it gets dark. And in my personal opinion, in today's day and age with technology, bring a personal locator beacon. It can get search and rescue to your site at the push of a button. Whether you're able to talk or not, whether you're in and out of consciousness, you just push a button and search and rescue can get within about 3 meters of your exact site. And in today's day and age, we got to utilize the technology we have, especially just given the opportunity to come back home and give your family either closure if you don't make it, or be able to come home and be safe and sound again.
Yeah, absolutely. Tanner, you're also the executive director of the nonprofit Pacific Northwest Missing Persons Project. Tell us about the work that nonprofit does.
So actually started off as Pacific Northwest Bigfoot search. And then in May of 2021, a family friend of a man who went missing in the Gifford Pinchot in 2015 reached out and said, hey, you guys are in an area that my friend disappeared. Can you keep an eye out for him or for his gear? And we started looking into it. We kept our eye out for anything that might belong to him. And then curiosity got the best of us, and we started trying to find out who else was missing in the area. And Washington State Patrol gave us a list of about 34 different names with, I think, 11 of them confirmed to be somewhere in that forest. And it kind of ballooned from there, where we realized we're in the backcountry, we're off trail anyway. We're looking for something that may or may not exist. And while we're doing that, we might as well make a difference at the same time, try to bring closure and answers to families that are affected by these countless missing person cases.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you all are really doing some impactful work, Tanner. And even though people here may not be looking for Sasquatch, people here in the Pacific Northwest do like to adventure. So these were some valuable tips, especially the ones about being overprepared.
Yeah, and with that list. Tanner, I did want to ask, with your nonprofit, have you found, in your search, have you been able to help families get some closure or find missing loved ones?
No, not at this time. We have ruled out a large swatches of area during our searches. Family that have been like, hey, search and rescue didn't look in this particular location, and we can't get them to redeploy, which is understandable that they don't have the funding to dedicate to cold cases when they're also having to go out religiously to go look for life-saving efforts. And we have ruled out a lot of area. We have had a few cadaver dogs that have hit on things that we've located, which we pass along to the sheriff's office or the law enforcement agency in charge. And that's about as far as we've gotten so far. You're searching for a needle in the world's largest haystack when you're walking through the woods, and trying to put a person's perspective of being panicked into that idea, because search and rescue tells you that you're going to act one way when you're missing. But once panic ensues and you realize you're lost, a lot of your common sense of what you should be doing goes out the window. And it's very hard to put yourself in a position that that person might have been feeling or thinking at that time as well.
Well, Tanner, thank you so much. You're doing such valuable work, really. Thanks.